What's going on, gamers? Man, we got an original OG Bungie Halo dev coming in on the Halo Campaign Evolved situation, and he's not happy. Guys, it's about to get very interesting. Let's get right into this. He said, I made it right, and they are breaking it. Yeah, you know, like the guy put on that Halo t-shirt, broke everything at that moment. You know what I mean? I mean, it doesn't get more cucky than that. One of the key members of the original Halo dev team, as we see right here, doesn't sound thrilled with Microsoft's Halo campaign. The good, the bad, and the other. I want to hear what this guy has to say because this is the guy that was there with Bungie, not this broken ass, weird, rainbow projecting 343 that we know now that is not representing the Master Chief energy. A bunch of losers is what they are, disrespecting the legacy of Bungie. So let's keep going down. This has nothing to do with Halo. Microsoft has finally unveiled a Halo campaign Evolved, a remake of the campaign portion of Bungie's beloved Halo Combat Evolved. Halo fans have spent most of the weekend debating the changes Halo Studios has made for this upcoming 2020 shooter, from the addition of sprint to the more pristine art style. But what do developers of Halo Combat Evolved itself make of the remake? We see Jamie right here. Griesemer or Gressimer, one of those names, I don't know, is one of the key developers behind Halo. He was the most involved with designing Halo's famous 30 seconds of fun gameplay loop and designed much of the campaign itself. So this guy is the real deal. Now, creative director at Highwire Games um, took to X Twitter, Jamie's Twitter, to deliver an early verdict on gameplay footage coming out of Microsoft's Halo campaign Evolved reveal. He did not sound. But when it comes to Microsoft lately, would anybody be? No. You aren't supposed to be able to take the Warthog up to steamroll the hunters. Yeah, it was kind of like, you guys remember when you first got out that vehicle? It was kind of like an on foot intensity, whatever, some soul to that. A little bit of struggle. You're like, whoa, you know what I mean? There was an impact there. It all worked together and it synced harmoniously. Um, Riesemer, however how you say that, said, I intentionally placed rocks in a way. You had to fight them on foot, like get your ass out the vehicle, soldier. Show me what you got. Get ready for this first impact. It's about to hit you. And there's going to be some memories. When you can just smash the crates out of the way, it wrecks the encounter. And see what I mean? It just ruined that. To him, that's a very important thing. And you can tell, like, when other situations, Microsoft didn't even bother to contact some of the original teams to make sure, hey, man, what do you guys think to make this the best possible? No, they're not going to do that, right? Some bad company, we know that's not going to happen. So that part kind of got ruined to him. And he goes, but the worst part, they put trees in the landing area of the woohoo jump. That's lame. 2 times he criticized it. Let's unpack this a bit, all right? Gressimer is criticizing a key part of the iconic campaign. The silent photographer, the first encounter with 2 hunters. You guys remember those hunters, man? That's no joke. In the original Halo, and it had those little freaking green weapons, energy weapons. This fight is meant to be played with Master Chief on foot. That was the point of the development. Players soon discovered it was possible to brute force a warthog into the arena. But in Microsoft's remake, players can freely take their warthog up with an extra hunter, up to the hunters and ride roughshod over their hapless victims. Or you about to say helpless, I don't know. I imagine the hunters with their dying breaths gurgling there. Oh, and that Wahoo jump, Jamie said, there's a ramp that is supposed to have a bunch of jackals at the landing. Make it interesting. Your gunner would always say, woohoo, you know what I mean? When you get airborne, and you guys will hear them in the back of the vehicles, yeah, there's that type of stuff. It's fair to say that Ressimer's tweet, viewed 2.3 million times, by the way, because that's how serious this is, has sparked a reaction online, with some fans insisting the level layout change ruins the gameplay flow. Others saying this change and others like it will make the game more. As for Gressmer, in a subsequent tweet, he explained that if Microsoft is going to change Halo's crates, just think about this, to be dynamic, then they should have also redesign the encounters that use them as permanent cover. He continued, most people forced the warthog through because of the hunters. The introduction of the hunters was supposed to be intimidating and difficult, but in the light so you can understand them. Then you meet them in an enclosed dark area, and they are even harder. But then you get rockets and vehicles and turn the tables. It's a 3-act play of enemy design, and you want to throw it in a blender. Fine, I'll go down to easier, but it's not going to taste as good. Exactly. So there's some soul to all that, and it worked well. And to him, Microsoft made it soulless and modern. This isn't anything new, though. He says, and it's like the dance remix of a classic song. Think about this because he says this perfectly. That skips the intro and the bridge and jumps or thumps the chorus over and over. That's a really good explanation because they're not doing the remake correctly. Like you're saying, you're just throwing them into the chorus aspect, but you're skipping the intro and the bridge. So he offered a potential explanation for this change. On further analysis, I'm sure it's because the vehicles take damage, and so you're just as likely to destroy the hog as get it over the rocks. If anything, that makes it worse because none of the vehicle tricks are going to work anymore. Yeah, it's just killing the soul of it. So coming down here, Eddie is saying something, replying. Excuse me, just got back from the gym. I was a bit shocked to notice the big tree that would try to block the warthog was gone. What are your thoughts about sprint being a toggle option? This is what Jamie had to say. He says, make it an option is the biggest red flag for a dysfunctional design. We have no vision for what this is supposed to be. Here's the tools to fix it yourself. He's throwing nothing but shots at Microsoft. He does not like what they're doing with the original. Just like, gamers don't like what they're doing with multiplayer. Another aspect of Halo Campaign Evolve that he has taken issue with is the addition of an optional infinite sprint button. Sprint seems to be the biggest talking point about Halo Campaign Evolved. While you can choose not to sprint, some are saying using it destroys Halo Combat Evolved's classic considered gameplay pace, and thus kills its sense of wonder. Others say believe it's essential for fun factor. So, like, imagine going through a section and you had the music at a certain aspect, you just sprint through it. Going down, he says it doesn't sound like a fan. He doesn't sound like a fan of sprinting in the Halo remake either. In another tweet, he pointed out that the player was able to sprint into the silent cartographer's shaft, mentioning it. Guys, I want you to think about this too. So fast that it broke the music transition. Who is this for? He asked. Just think about it. Let's just say you always knew you were walking at this pace, but as you were walking at this pace that was in sync, the music was going to hit you at a certain way you came into the game. When you're sprinting, you don't even give it time, and you're kind of just not syncing with that. So it kind of kills the algorithm of that with the music. I get what he means by that. That's not bad. If you would have kept off the sprint, considering the design. And like you're saying, if you would have done that, at least sync the design with that, but they're not going to do that because they said that's dysfunctional because you can't have both. Unless you're trying to just change the design based off of which toggle you have. Yeah, we know they're not going to do that. So that's why he's asked, who is this for? Then if the world is scaled to sprint, you will be able to trivially skip encounters. Does that make sense? Yeah, it does. Halo Combat Evolved's Needler too, which I think is also goofy, has caused quite the kerfuffle. This iconic Halo weapon shoots deadly needles into an enemy, then after a cool sounding charge, they explode. The needler stands out because of the ammo. Like you can see how many needles are in the gun, so you can know what's left. The needlers themselves stick out the top of the gun so you can easily see how much ammo you have at any given moment. Still, Microsoft, notice how he doesn't say Xbox, saw fit to add an ammo encounter on the needler, just in case. This change has drawn some ridicule online, and Jamie is clearly not a fan. By far the most comically unnecessary embellishment in the whole announcement, he said, I'm not sure if it isn't intentional satire. Jamie, you know what I think? They're morons like everybody else thinks. But why would you add an ammo counter to a weapon that is an ammo counter in the first place? Yeah, because they're dumbasses. Okay, this is hilarious. They put an F and ammo count screen on a needler. This is just goofy. Who's going to look at that to look for ammo? You'd have been better off putting a number there. Of course, they're moronic. By far the most comically unnecessary embellishment in the whole announcement. I'm not sure it is an intentional satire. This is the tweet that he said that. In response to Grissmer's original, now viral tweet on Halo campaign evolved, one user accused the veteran designer of crying about nostalgia, to which he responded, because I made it right and they are breaking it for no reason. You're going to say that, but it's not your game. You're just taking on it. You threw it to Unreal Engine 5. You didn't put multiplayer. Shut up, you're a loser. He continued, I think there are dozens of changes. Reload speeds, no health packs, falling damage that make the game slicker, but ultimately more soulless. Let's just be honest. That's what he meant to say. After Bungie left Halo behind to develop Destiny, sorry. Microsoft, via what was known as 343 Studios, continued the franchise with 4 and 5 Guardians. 5 is trash. And 2021's Infinite. I like the campaign, but that's about it. Yeah, that's how I feel about Microsoft. The internet would suggest that with these games, Microsoft has struggled to recreate the Bungie magic for want of a better team. A better term, but hey, both. Certainly, Bungie's Halo games. Sometimes you guys know I'll say that because you kind of get it. Certainly, Bungie's Halo games are far more fondly remembered than Microsoft's, of course. I mean, it's a difference between having a bright soul and none. But why has Microsoft struggled so? Because they suck and their soulless suits and only care about money. Griesmer was asked this question, and in his response revealed his thoughts on the idea of remaking Halo and continuing to make new Halo games now, nearly 25 years after Combat Evolved came out. It's not the early 2000s anymore, he said. Halo is of its time, literally, maybe more than any other game franchise. So they constantly are trying to take either Halo out of 2021 and modernize it, or to take players back to 2021 with nostalgia. They're not doing that because the multiplayer is gone. It's not nostalgia. You remove that, and then you made it, and whatever it is, and put on that shirt. Like I said, there's nothing nostalgia about that. You betrayed everything, which is impossible. Aside from that thing, what are your thoughts on this game, and what advice would you give to the devs making it? Yeah, this is the funniest thing to me. Keep getting them checks. Oh man, he's got all them soulless suits with checks. Uh, Remakes and remasters are soul destroying. They have no soul. And I feel for any dev working on one. They can't win, and even if they do, they won't get credit. Bad situation unless you're just getting paid money. Yeah, put on that shirt. That's right. It's their turn next. Do you think Halo, with the classic style of movement being no sprint, would still do well in today's market? I feel like it would, and that is when a Halo was at its strongest. Now the multiplayer experiences we had with 4 on can't hold a population whatsoever. He's like, probably not, but I'm not sure what the point of is of a remake. I don't see the point either. Anyway, nostalgia, a new generation of fans occupying an enormous art team while you figure out what to do. Yeah, they do not know what to do. Is there anything you like about this announcement? They kept the music and the AI the same. It looks like I'm glad I can play it on a Sony system. Oh man, this dude threw like 8 daggers at Microsoft and fired shots. Yo, I like this guy, but this is so funny. See, even the original devs are like, you think I'm gonna get you think you what? You what? No, PlayStation. Oh my lord. One member of the original Halo team who sounds thrilled with Halo campaign Evolved is Marcus Leto, who is the art director on Combat Evolved and thus heavily involved in the iconic look of Halo itself. He recently left the now shuttered Battlefield 6 developer Ridgeline Games and hid out at EA for not properly crediting former staff, offered a positive assessment of Halo Studios' work. My honest impressions of seeing the new Halo campaign evolve is this, he said. I absolutely love where this is going. The game looks and feels genuine. It's gorgeous in a way I wish I could have built it originally back in 2001. It warms my heart to see Halo fans like this. No, I think you're lost, because that's not the case. But there we go, guys. Let me know what you guys think about this. Man, they threw shots and he said he was playing on PlayStation. Later, y'all.